Hello and welcome back to Alliance Tournament 11. I am CCP Rise with CCP Fozzie. Next up, we have Babylon 5 versus Sicarius Draconis.
Yes, and we do have another flagship on the field. Flagship's doing very badly in the second half of today, but Sicarius Draconis is going to see if they can do better with it. These are the guys that quite notably yesterday brought a Balgorn with a 200mm plate, which for anyone who's not familiar with the game is a small plate usually fit on little itty-bitty frigates, but they fit it on a very big battleship, and that's basically like taking like a toothpick and strapping it to your arm and trying to use it as armor. And this time they've brought their flagship, hopefully properly fitted, the Vindicator, and I think they've realized the joke because they've named the Vindicator flagship 200mm plate heart.
Pretty awesome stuff. Weird setups a little bit on both sides. More on the Babylon 5 side, obviously. They're going with Dominix's, Ishtars, and Oniris. Only 7 ships, which is super low number. And all of those ships dropping Sentry drones already, while the Sicarius Draconis team support kind of heads off to the side. We'll see if the battleships for Sicarius Draconis can make the trek over there to start actually putting some damage on those Dominixes.
So there's a decent chance that this is some kind of tinker. They are cap transferring, but the Oniris is running away. So I'm no. It's possible that Babylon 5 is doing a tinker of some kind. It's also possible that these are MJD Dominixes, which would be a decent use of a setup like this. It's also possible that they just didn't think too much when they put it together. Who knows? One way or another, whatever coherent strategy they try to display will try to cover it as it develops. Sicarius Draconis, in their hand, with the Balgorn and these Vindicators, they've got a lot of cap pressure and a ton of damage, and that damage is now landing on top of the dummies.
Yeah, they got there pretty quick, actually, like before any significant damage was done to their team at all, which is a pretty good sign for them. They're dropping drones now. There'll be webs on some of those ships pretty soon. It looks like they've caught the Oniros, even though he headed away from the Babylon 5 team at the start. Something has him webbed, so he's going to be in trouble here.
Yes. Yeah, he's under a lot of fire. Now, that Vindicator is a flagship, which could mean officer webs,
yeah,
which could mean or even just faction webs, which could mean very long web range, which helps when you're trying to catch these guys. But that Oniris is definitely heavily webbed at this point.
And, yeah.
Like 12 meters a second.
Balgorn neuting it. Wow, dead already.
Yeah, all right. So that's a very good start for Sicarius Draconis. Now they just need to finish off these Dominixes that are right on top of them. The Ishtars, on the other hand, are moving. Nope, they're not. The Ishtars are standing still.
They're just hanging out.
They
could actually probably kill those Ishtars really easily.
Yes, they probably
could. With the Vindy webs, it shouldn't be too difficult at all.
They're spreading webs, so they may be ready to switch really quickly. One way or another, they're definitely in the driver's seat. We do have the Balgorn taking quite a bit of damage.
Now the Babylon 5 team is moving. Like those Dominixes are headed away. They didn't initially, but now they're on the move, getting some distance between them and the Vindicator and the Vindicators and the Balgorn.
Yeah, I didn't mention it before, but the actual flagship Vindicator, because there's 2 of them for Sicarius, is Scrut, and the camera is now zoomed in right on me, obviously. So we've heard that you guys don't really like the fact that I hand talk and are a little bit angry about it in stream chat, so I want to let you know that I'm very sorry about that. I love you guys so much, and I really want to make it up to you and stop using my hands so much. But it's hard. I'm having a really difficult time with it, but I'll do my best.
Thanks for the apology, but it's okay. Dominic's dead while you were talking with both your hands and your mouth, and an Ishtar now in trouble as well.
Yes, the Balgorn probably will die, which is a nice, valuable kill for Sicarius, or not for Sicarius, for Babylon. That's a very expensive ship. Obviously not as expensive as the flagship, which isn't being fired on at all. So we'll see what they switch to next. If they're going to go for just try to increase the pain, then they might try to go after the flagship. If they're trying to go for the win, then they may go after the Oniros.
They're actually putting quite a bit of damage on one of the Vindicators, but it's not the flagship Vindicator, right? The Scrut is the flagship, so Balgorn going down almost for sure. I'm surprised.
It's taken him a while, but he's going.
Yeah, they just killed the Ishtar, so damage will taper off. If they get one more kill, they might be able to permatank it. This is actually pretty intense for this Balgorn. There's no reason you want to lose a Balgorn if you don't have to. So.
Yeah. If he can get, I can't really get range on these guys. There's not a lot you can do. There he goes.
Drop. Yeah, there he goes. In the meantime, another Ishtar almost dead for Babylon 5. I mean, they're in big trouble. Wow, Vindicator, Sicarius Vindicator is actually really low as well.
So actually, you know what? Babylon could potentially pull this back out. Do you know what would really help Babylon at this point right now? Micro jump drives on those 2 Dominixes.
Yep.
Because if they had MJDs,
and force them to run a whole long ways again.
Yeah, like this would be a really, really good use of micro jump drives if they have them on those dummies. run the Ishtar away. He can just outrun the Vindis and use your sentries. And we'll see if they actually try to do that or if they maybe don't have them fit. One way or another, they could potentially take this. They do have a lot of newts.
So that's the Vindicator that's about dead, the one you're looking at right now.
Yeah, it's not the flagship one, though.
Right. But you can see he's sitting there right on top of, well, Dominic's is right on top of him, putting neutralizers on him. He is catching reps from the Oneros, but it just isn't enough for now.
Now, it's really just a question of how quickly Sicarius can take down this Dominix. They're focusing right now on a Dominix that I'm not even going to try to pronounce. And he's going down very quickly. The fact that he's dropping so fast indicates to me that I think Sicarius will take this.
Vindicator going to go down too.
Go.
Wow.
So now let's see what they actually turn their attention to.
They're running out of damage really fast, this Sicarius team is. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
we'll have to see. It's like it isn't a flagship Vindicator. It could have faction or officer mag stabs, lots and lots of damage. But yeah, the unpronounceable Dominix is. Oh, there he goes.
Okay.
So now we have one Dominix and one Ishtar versus a Vindicator, Myrmidon, and Neros, and a bunch of Frigs.
That feels like it favors Sicarius Draconis quite a bit, but
Yes.
it's certainly not completely over.
No, it isn't.
I mean, most of those Frigs do nothing at this point. The Tristans and the Tristans do a little bit of damage, but they're just not a huge deal. So it's really Vindicator Myrmidon versus Dominic's Ishtar.
Now the Tristans sent a bunch of damage drones in earlier, I think, but they got. Oh no, they're just using looks like light maintenance bots. Yeah, so they're putting armor bots on the. I'm gonna guess that's where they're coming from on the Vindy. There is a smart bomb on the remaining Dominix for Babylon 5, which is clever. It allows him to clear off any hostile drones.
Where is the Sicarius Oneros?
He's a little ways away here.
I wonder.
He's just off by himself. He's got actually guarded by his Molluses. Well,
he's
really guarded
not repping the Vindicator right now, and I wonder if at any point during the fight the rep drone effects were giving us the icon, but actually the Oneros wasn't able to rep for some reason.
The rep drones won't actually give the icon.
Okay, good.
The Vindicator is getting reps.
Okay, good.
So yeah, the rep drones don't actually show up on that screen. You can see them, of course, on the actual view of the match, but not on our battle feed. And that Dominix is dropping a lot faster. So between the Battle of the Dominix and the Vindicator, Dominix dropping a lot faster. I'm sure for Scrut right now, he's got to be sweating a little bit.
Yeah.
Even if they get the win after this, you don't want to be losing your flagship because if anyone's not familiar with our flagship rules, you can't bring them back if you lose them. You can only have the one. It doesn't actually have to be the same ship, but you can, or the exact same one has to be the same type. And my hands are out again. And but you don't get to bring it back. If you lose the flagship, no more flagship the rest of the tournament.
So it looks like here Babylon 5 has found a way to lose with Dominix's. So congratulations on that. I noticed some people in chat were curious about the banning rule. We've mentioned it here and there, but basically this weekend we're doing so many matches that we, for the sake of keeping things sped up, just kept it simple, the old format, just so we could run through them really fast. Next weekend we're going to have a few less, which gives us time to put in our new rule system, which will be in effect for the next 2 weekends, which lets each team ban 2 ships for both teams. So you select 2 bans, each team captain, and neither team can use any of the 4 ships banned.
Yeah.
So that'll make a huge difference. Any ships that feel strong or the teams don't feel like coming up against or that they think a certain team will really want to use, they can take out of the tournament for that match. And
one of those 4 can be Dominix.
That's right. Every single match.
Yep.
Which is really cool, actually. It keeps the meta evolving. It'll be interesting to see, what this weekend leads into next weekend when Dominix's aren't as common or when other ships like Molluses aren't as common.
It'll be especially cool in the last weekend because at that point, in the end of the tournament, the late matches, we're actually going to have series. We're going to have best of 3 series for a couple of different rounds, and we're going to have best of 5 series for the finals. And that means you can see what a team brings against you, then ban out what you think they might bring next. So they're going to have to keep bringing out new stuff. They can't just keep bringing the same stuff. There's that kind of give and take, and everyone's going to be playing that chess game.
By the way, this flagship Vindicator is actually pretty low.
It could go down.
I think they're going to finish off the Domi in time.
Disappear, though, and that's half the DPS gone.
Yeah, but it was actually pretty close. I mean, like you said, he's got to be sweating a little bit. And there goes the Domi, so should be safe now.
So now they just need to chase down the Ishtar. They've got 1 minute, 28 seconds to do so. Either way, they're going to win.
I don't know. I'm surprised at how much they were able to kill the Dominic's team. Like, at the start of the match, I wouldn't have thought they would have done badly, but it seemed like Sicarius was in control for the whole match. So I'm surprised that, as it wore on, they kept putting battleships at risk and took out 2 faction battleships and almost the flagship as well. But anyway, at this point, it's pretty much over.
Yep,
you
and
can see
Babylon 5 ... will be leaving the tournament this year.
Yep, and Sicarius will go to next weekend to stay in the winners bracket, or in the elimination bracket, but
Yeah.
they have, like all the teams that are winning for the rest of the day today, have a long road ahead of them to get to the final.
They're going to still have a tough road ahead of them.
Anyway, that'll do it. Congratulations, Sicarius, Draconis. Congratulations to Scrut in the Vindicator for not fitting a 200 millimeter plate and for surviving the match. We'll be back shortly with Moist for Surely You're Joking.